So this has been recorded after the main video, but is being posted before it. Things have been being said about me that I have found out about. I have not watched the videos yet. I have seen that the videos exist. They have come across my For You page multiple times. I ignored them enough times that they no longer cross my For You page as far as I know. If they do appear again, I will probably continue to flip past them for the time being. But I am posting videos of the whole story. Well, as much of the whole story as I can remember. Because from what I have been told by my friend who has watched the full video, that was made about me and was posted on YouTube, only one side of the story was said. And from some of the things said, some of the things are misconstrued, some of the things are putting things on me that are not on me. So I am putting as much as I can remember out there without knowing everything that is said in the videos that have been posted by Sparky. Unlike Sparky, I do not have a video editor, so my videos are going to be just kind of, they're just like this. I don't really have anything else I can do with it. Because I don't know how to edit videos like that. Anyways, so videos are to come. If the new notification that I got from TikTok a couple weeks ago is in effect already, they should be an hour long each. Technically, I tried to cut them up at just short of an hour a piece. But yeah, this is as much as I can remember off the top of my head. If there are any questions, things that Sparky covered that I did not, you are welcome to DM me. You are welcome to comment the questions. I will do my best to answer them. Anyways, so I will start posting the videos shortly, depending on how long it takes for them to post and whether or not I have to split them up more than they are already split up. This is a video that I had hoped that I would never have to make. So many of you, I'm sure, remember the person that used to show up in a lot of videos with me. Their name is Sparky. Sparky and I had a falling out back in November. By falling out, I mean that I had been explained to things that I had been doing wrong. This was the second conversation that this had happened. And I thought that I had a chance to prove that I could do better. That is what the conversation had me believing. And I was blocked the next day. I had planned to not make any videos about what had happened, except that they are now making videos about me. I have not seen these videos. I shouldn't say technically I have like seen, but not seen, if that makes sense. They have come across my For You page. I have passed them, and thankfully I have ignored them enough times that they are no longer coming across my For You page. I don't know if I will watch them. A friend of mine has already watched them and given me some knowledge of some of the things covered, but they don't remember everything that was covered. So I wanted to, whether I watched them or not, I wanted to make it so that I had some, I wanted to make it so that I was not, I basically decided that it would be best to make this video without watching them. And then if I do watch them, it will be after this is already posted and out there. This may be multiple videos. I don't know if the hour-long video function works yet. I know that I have gotten notifications about it, but I don't know if it works yet. So I don't know if this is going to be one video or multiple videos. I am currently recording it on my normal camera and not the TikTok camera. Anyways, moving on to the situation. I know that some of the things being said about me sound really bad, because they are worded vaguely in a way that makes sure that they sound really bad. Again, this is from what I have been told. I have not watched these videos yet. The closest to watching one that I have had is when one crossed my For You page and did not start with a black screen. It started with, you know, I immediately went into seeing their face. I hit the screen to pause it so that I did not hear anything, because something about a shirt that was apparently in the video had gotten mentioned to me. And so I was curious about the shirt, and looking at the shirt, I am fairly certain that that is actually my shirt that they had borrowed for a cosplay and then proceeded to lose. And I never got back. Now, I was never upset about it getting lost, because I figured I'd eventually get it back. It had actually gotten to a point where I had forgotten that they had this shirt. Now, I may be wrong. My memory may be off. There's a lot of things. But if memory serves correctly, that is my shirt that they borrowed when they borrowed one of my cosplays. They had lost the shirt. I had gotten back the rest of the cosplay. And it's just a shirt, so I'm, again, not entirely all that concerned. I can... Is it one that shows up at Walmart anymore? No, but I can still, like, find something similar on Amazon. I'm really not that concerned about the shirt. But I had been curious, and so, yeah, I paused it so I could see the shirt because, again, like, it came across starting directly into an image of them instead of a black screen with words, which the words were, like, on the other ones, words were like, you know, part, number, and then a 1 or 2 word description of what it was about. Anyways, so moving on to the actual situation. So things are being said about me that I did or did not do. And I am here to give what I can of knowledge about the situation without knowing what all topics are covered. I know some of them, but I do not know all of them. So I'm hoping that everything I say covers all of them, and then some. If it does not, my DMs should be open. You are more than welcome to message me. So yeah. Anyways, so Sparky and I met for the first time at OhioCon of 2022. We didn't really interact all that much, like hit or miss run-ins, and then at the end we did have a decent sized conversation with a couple mutual friends. I was at that convention with my ex-girlfriend. I was dating her at the time. Well, I technically started dating her during that convention. But anyways, so I was at that convention with my ex-girlfriend, and you know, it was us and I think 3 mutual friends and Sparky, and I think Sparky's friend, if I'm correct on the code names that have been described to me from the video, I believe the friend would be Blitz, that I'm pretty sure was also over there. Memories of that OhioCon are pretty spotty, but like spotty enough that even though they had joined my Discord server that I created with my ex-girlfriend for friends that we had made at OhioCon, they had joined it and I had completely forgotten they had joined it. I had completely forgotten who they were by the time MatsuriCon of 2023 or 2020. Yeah, no, 2022. Yeah, MatsuriCon of 2022 had come around. So, you know, we fast forward to MatsuriCon of 2022 when we meet up with Sparky. We meet up with them, I think about 3 or 4 times before the final day of MatsuriCon. One of them to do the Jack Sparrow run with them. Well, for me too, my ex-girlfriend, she was my girlfriend at the time, did not wish to do the Jack Sparrow run because she did not know, she didn't know about it pretty much, and she didn't want to because she didn't feel comfortable doing it, and that's fine. You know, I understand that. Anyways, so we do that, and I know at one point, either that night or the next day, anyways, at some point within that convention before the last day, my ex-girlfriend, I'm trying to think of a code name for her so I can stop just saying my ex-girlfriend, because I feel bad. I'll say Rin. I think Rin works because it's the name of a favorite character of hers. So anyways, so Rin makes a comment about the fact that she's not polyamorous, but that like if she were to accept anyone as a third, it would be Sparky. Which that, first off, that had come out of nowhere. Like, I had not expressed any interest in Sparky at that time. For that matter, when I am in a relationship, even though I am polyamorous, I have a tendency to kind of squash that side of myself because I figure that most people that I end up dating are probably going to be monogamous. So I just pretty much, when I'm in a relationship, I don't let myself look around. Like, I don't let myself determine if I see someone as attractive or not. Fictional characters do not count. But I don't let myself think those things about anyone, because I don't want to upset my partner. So anyways, so Rin makes that comment, and I'm kind of like confused. And that is when Sparky, you know, tells us that they have a partner. We had not known prior to that. But, you know, move on. That being said, the final day of con, Rin is dressed as Icy Thought. For any of you who are not part of the My Hero Academia fandom, or for that matter, even if you are part of the My Hero Academia fandom and do not know anything about this, Icy Thought is Todoroki. So Icy Thought is this boy, but dressed kind of slutty. So it's a whole joke. It's Icy Thought on Thursday. And Sparky is dressed as Dobby. As this man, but also dressed skimpy. Like, they're wearing a pair of really short rainbow shorts that could almost be considered underwear because that is how short these shorts are. And a bra. And then Dobby's overcoat. And a mask, because, you know, we still had to wear masks. And that's what they were wearing that whole day. And then I was Bakugo, and I was, I have a shirt that I had created to go with Rin's Icy Thought cosplay, where it is, it says, it has Bakugo's grenades on it, and it says Thought Security. Yeah. Anyways, so that whole day, Sparky is draping themselves all over me. And the first time they did that, they did not ask if I was okay with it. Personally, I am not comfortable with, I'm not comfortable with touch from people that I'm not comfortable with yet. But I typically don't tell people about my issues with any sort of boundary, because growing up with my dad, I wasn't really allowed boundaries, essentially. So, and then on top of that, I am terrified that people are not going to like me. because, you know, I got teased a lot and didn't really have friends in school. So I'm always afraid people are not going to like me. So I don't, even though I'm uncomfortable, I don't like to tell people that I am, because I don't want to lose a potential connection that I could be getting. Anyways, so they're draping themselves all over me, planting themselves in my lap, play flirting with me the entire day. At one point, they even do the whole, like, you know, cage you against the wall with, you know, one of their hand against the wall. I'm about 2 to 3 inches shorter than them. So that makes that, you know, it's a pretty decent height difference for that situation. Because, you know, they just barely have to reach their hand above my shoulder. Anyway, so yeah, that whole day, they are play flirting with me and doing all of that. And still, I'm joking to them, like, you know, if out of all days, this is the one day that, you know, I'm glad I don't have the part that I wish I had. I said it a little bit more to the tune of what the word is, but, you know. Anyways, so that went on that whole day. And I know that I need to communicate what my issues with things are a lot better, but I don't. Well, the way Sparky handled Rin mentioning the whole like, hey, if I were to, like, be comfortable with you adding someone, it would be someone like Sparky, was essentially to be like, yeah, I was almost in a polyamorous, how did they word this? Yeah, was almost in a polyamorous queer platonic relationship at one point, but my partner is not comfortable with that and ended up saying no, and was essentially, and then essentially was like, you know, I can ask him, but I'm pretty sure he'll say no, but, you know, I can ask him, making it seem like they were interested. Then, you know, then the day of, you know, the relentless, or the constant play flirting and draping themselves over me in that outfit happened. And then throughout that, Rin would look at Sparky and go, you don't act like that with someone unless you like them. You really need to ask your partner. They did that. She did that multiple times that day, multiple times the next day. I shouldn't say multiple. It was probably 2 or 3. So, like, multiple makes it sound like it was a lot more than that. But anyways, so, like, you know, that at the end of the day, we offer for Sparky and their friend Blitz to join us in our hotel room, because the others that we had been sharing the hotel room with had to leave, you know, early. So we were going to have the hotel room to ourselves, and we're like, hey, you know, if you want to join us and, you know, spend a little bit more time. And mind you, again, this was Rin who put this offer out. That was not me. But I did agree with that offer, because I was like, oh, new friends, you know, hey, I'm perfectly fine with this. you know, new friends. Let's get to know our new friends. So I did, you know, add to the, or, you know, I agreed with the offer, and I did, you know, be like, yeah, we wouldn't mind. But anyways, so they did end up staying in the hotel room. Rin and I shared one bed. Blitz had the pull-out couch, and Sparky had the other bed. Then the next day, or we are offered to join them for Blitz's birthday celebration thing they're doing, which was going to Otherworld, and to go out to dinner with the two of them. So we do, you know, spend the whole next day with them. Again, there's a decent bit of play flirting. I try I do on a couple occasions try desperately to like reciprocate the play flirting, because I feel bad that I'm not trying to. And like Rin's, you know, statement of, oh, you know, if we were to add someone like Sparky, and her saying, hey, you know, you don't act like this with someone unless you like them. You should definitely ask your partner. I was like, okay, so that's essentially permission for me to look at someone outside of our relationship. I still tried not to, because I'm like, they're in a relationship, their partners, you know, their partner's monogamous. I'm trying to not fall for this person. Anyways, so, you know, after I get Rin home, and I get home myself, because Rin lived quite a distance from me, and I had to take her home first, and then take myself home. You know, we're all, you know, we all text everything for a while. And I don't remember how soon after Con. I really don't. But Sparky and I start, like, you know, talking on Discord. Phone video calls. This kind of becomes a daily thing, because we're both excited of new friend, excited. We both end up trauma dumping at each other. I know I tried not to at first, especially after having learned during Con that they're 20, or they were 20 at the time, and I was 26. So I kind of felt bad at the thought of like trauma dumping on someone, you know, 6 years younger than me. But, you know, they would mention a trauma that was similar to something I dealt with, and so then, you know, I would be like, oh yeah, you know, and then tell mine. And it got to the point where we kind of just trauma dumped on each other, even if the traumas were not similar. They told me a lot of things about all sorts of different things they were dealing with, and I told them a lot of things about mine. And I am a person who really likes routine. Like, I get into a routine. If that routine breaks, I kind of panic. Now, mind you, at this time, I'm only thinking I have ADHD. I've very much known that I am ADHD for a long time, even though when I tried to ask a doctor to like recommend me for getting tested when I was a teenager, the doctor essentially was like, well, because you can sit down and read, that means you don't have ADHD. I've known since I was a teenager that I have all of the classic female signs of ADHD. So at that time, I just thought I had ADHD. So I didn't know why I liked routines so much. I just knew it was like a thing that if I was in a certain routine, if that routine broke, I would kind of panic. So when I changed shifts, specifically for the purpose of, Sparky had offered to help me get into the Renaissance Fair. So I worked hard to get my shift changed so that I could work the Renaissance Fair, because at the time I was working weekends. And Renaissance Fair is the weekends. So I couldn't work weekends and work Renaissance Fair. My day job would not have accepted that. So when I changed to night shift on the weekdays, which is my current shift, and even if it weren't for the fact that I changed for Ren Fair, I'm really glad that I changed shifts, because I really like my current shift for a lot of reasons. Anyways, so we got into a routine of daily calls, like daily voice chat calls. I would be in voice chat when Rin would get off work, and she would want someone to be on call with her while she walked home. Like it was a short distance, thankfully, but still, like it's just one of those things of, it's always safer to, even if you can't physically have someone walk with you, to have someone on the phone if you have to walk. So yeah, anyways, so and when I would be get into voice chat for her to get off, Sparky would also get on with me. So I got into this habit of being used to this. And then, if there was 1 or 2 days that like there would be, the times that it happened were rare, but if there would be 1 or 2 days where they didn't join, I would kind of freak out and think I did something wrong, because that's what my brain does. I'm like, oh, the thing that I'm used to didn't happen. Fuck, did I do something wrong to cause it to stop? Because anxiety. Anyways, so, I would message, the first time that it happened, like, it was one day and then a second day, and there wasn't really messages in our group text chat that was between myself, Rin, Sparky, and Blitz. I really hope that I'm using the right code name, because like the description that my friend mentioned kind of makes me think it's the right person. And honestly, them having the code name of Blitz makes sense, knowing who they are, or knowing the person that I think it is. Anyways, so, yeah, anyways, so there was a group chat between myself, Sparky, Rin, and Blitz, and, like, none of them had really messaged in that group chat that day, and then on top of that, or either of those days, and then on top of that, my daily voice chat had not happened, and so I messaged in the group chat, I'm like, did I do something wrong? And then, everybody was quick to let me know, hey, no, you didn't, we just, this, that, or the other. And so, yeah, daily voice chat calls kind of resumed. So come Sparky's birthday. So around Sparky's birthday, originally the plan that had been brought up was that we were going to go to, oh shoot, no, I gotta backtrack. I have to backtrack. I apologize. So at MatsuriCon, or after MatsuriCon, Sparky had lost one of their earbuds. They had asked me to, to check my car just in case it had gotten lost in my car. I could not find it, but knowing all the crevices that things can get lost into, like, I wouldn't have been surprised if it had gotten lost in my car. And, so they were kind of struggling a little bit with the fact that they would have to, with only having one earbud, they would have to, charge that one a lot more off, or, when they would have to charge that one, they didn't have something to replace it, except their old pair of Beats, which, I don't remember what the situation was with the Beats. Anyways, I know that, like, I remember them kind of, like, complaining, fussing a little bit about it. And so I was like, hey, since there's a good chance that it probably is lost in my car and I literally cannot find it, like, it's probably lost into the abyss of the car, I kind of half joking, half not, sent them a image of, AirPod Pro and was like, what would you do if this magically showed up on your doorstep? Now, mind you, I did not have their address yet at that time. So, it wouldn't have been able to happen anyways, at first. And so, they're like, no, I won't even let my partner get me those. I don't need the pros. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think I joked around about it a little bit longer before being like, okay, what if I got you, like, one of the normal sets of AirPods, because I feel really bad that there's a good chance that your AirPod got lost in my car. I do not remember if I was in love with them at that point or not when I did that. I do remember at one point, between the end of con and visiting them at Ren Fair for a day, I do remember at some point within that time period, I did tell them, like, hey, I went down the rabbit hole that I swore I wouldn't go down, meaning the fact that I had fallen for them. And, like, I told them because for me, it's a respect thing. And also the fact that we had the play flirting, like, I wanted them to know so that they didn't accidentally go too far with the play flirting. And, give me an idea that I shouldn't have. You know what I mean? But anyways, so, yeah. I don't remember the exacts of how it ended up being, but, like, they ended up saying that they ended up agreeing to me getting the AirPods. I did accidentally get a series newer than what theirs was, or generation newer than what theirs was. They had not told me that it was the Gen 2, and I didn't know that there was a difference in... I had been out of the using Apple scene for probably a good, not even probably, I had been out of the using Apple scene for like 8 years at this point. So I hadn't even really known much about AirPods beyond that they existed. So I didn't know what generation they had. And I didn't pay attention when I ordered them. So, like, yeah, they had some way things went, and they agreed that, you know, I could get them the AirPods as long as it wasn't the Pros, obviously, and gave me their address so that I could send it to them. So I ended up getting them Gen 3. They originally had Gen 2, I believe. I didn't realize that, and I don't particularly remember if they told me when they received them that I had gotten a different generation or not. I do know that I remember it getting brought up later, that it was a newer generation than what they originally had. But anyways, so yeah. Then their birthday rolled around, you know, after that, and after we had, Ren and I had visited Sparky at Ren Fair, and we, so Ren, Sparky, Blitz, and I were supposed to all get together for Sparky's birthday. When we were talking about all of this, I'm like, hey, is your partner going to be joining us? Because, you know, my whole thought process is, hey, you know, this is your birthday. This is your partner. I kind of figure they're probably going to, I figure he's going to fucking, you know, probably join us because, you know, he's going to want to spend your birthday with you. And, you know, Sparky was like, or pretty, you know, talked to him about it and was like, yeah, he'll join us. And then, Blitz actually was, well, no, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little out of order of the situation. Anyway, so later I get, kind of like chastised for not checking with the other two that whether or not they're comfortable with Sparky's partner joining us, because one of them had expressed not being comfortable with it, which I remember it was Blitz who had the issue with it, which struck me as weird because my immediate thought is, this is Sparky's partner. Like, why do you have an issue with Sparky's partner being there for Sparky's birthday? But, you know, I wasn't going to say anything because, you know, they had been friends for a long time. So, you know, I didn't know what the dynamic was. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't know what the situation was. Even if it struck me as weird and kind of like, why is this a thing? So, you know, birthday rolls or we, you know, we have that, oh, okay. I knew I was forgetting something. So, I had gotten a body pillow for myself and had sent a picture in the group chat of the body pillow. One side of the body pillow not so clean, and I didn't realize, you know, with the timing of me sending it, that Sparky was at work. So Sparky kind of like sends a message of, I'm at work, you fucker. You can't send shit like that while I'm at work. That, you know, I did feel mildly bad. But then, you know, later they're like, the only reason, or later it was kind of like stated they didn't really care as much. Then like, it was just something about like that because of how close their desk it was with their boss, there was always the chance their boss could see what pops up on their phone. You know, anyways, so then, I don't remember how I'm trying to remember like as much as I can about these situations. But anyways, they made it seem like it wasn't as big of a deal as like I kind of was sort of expecting it to have actually been. Anyways, so then I was also supposed to call their partner while they were at work. Like, I was supposed to call Sparky's partner while Sparky was at work to give him ideas for birthday and or Christmas presents for Sparky. Because, you know, Sparky's birthday is really close to Christmas. And so as a joke to find out, you know, when Sparky was working, to be able to call their partner, I would send them different like NSFW pictures of characters that they simped for, usually Fat Gum or Aizawa, to basically be like, okay, you know, when I get the reaction, I'll be able to call him. Because, you know, they were being a smartass and being like, well, I'm not going to tell you when I'm working, when they had, you know, told me that I needed to call him while they were at work. And I even straight up, when they said that, I'm like, okay, then if you're not going to tell me when you're working, I'm going to send you NSFW pictures of characters you simp for to find out if you're at work. Like, I even forewarned them that I was going to do this, and they just laughed at it. And this was all after I had, you know, ended up with romantic feelings for them. Anyways, so eventually end up getting to call him, give him ideas. I think I was on the phone with this man for about an hour, if I remember correct, because we end up talking about some other stuff, like, you know, different reasons of disliking horror movies and shit. Just generally, I kind of wanted to be able to be friends with my friend's partner. Because I figured then things would be less awkward if I was friends with him. Later found out that I would never have been able to become friends with him, just because, or well, Sparky kind of like insinuated that I would never have been able to become friends with their partner, because he doesn't really like people in general, especially those who identify masculinely, like myself. Anyways, so, sorry, I'm getting myself lost here for a minute. Yeah, so then, you know, the whole thing of like the statement of like, you know, one person not being comfortable with Sparky's partner being there with us for Sparky's birthday, which again, I felt was weird. Then, OhioCon, which was mine and Rin's birthday con, Sparky, you know, gave us both a limit for an amount that we could pick for, you know, our birthday present from, you know, the dealer's room. I picked an ears and tails set from Paw Star. I don't remember what Rin chose. But OhioCon of 2023 was kind of a fiasco. A lot was going on. Sparky kind of kept drawing me aside, and like, you know, hanging around me quite a bit during it. And me being the person that I am, and as close as I felt with them at that point, like I was more than willing to go, you know, every time that they wanted to get away from the hotel room or away from the group, I was more than willing to, like, you know, go hang out with them, and just, you know, sit there and listen to rants and there was a whole fiasco of how that whole con went, because of different people, different situations, accepting what one person said over what another person said had happened. One person getting upset with Sparky and I because Sparky signed themselves and me up to run some photo shoots that we were not originally going to, but because most of the or a decent portion of the con photographers had like called out for that whole con, Sparky was like, yeah, I know someone with a camera and I have experience running things, so like, you know, the two of us can, you know, run some photo shoots together. I think they picked up 4 photo shoots for us. So because of us picking up these photo shoots and having to rush around to these photo shoots, Rin got really upset because she thought that we were going to miss out on this one panel that's like her favorite panel, and she felt like it was very, or you know, had pretty much made both of us promise to go to this panel. We still got to go to it, you know, but, and like, you know, everyone felt like we weren't paying attention to them and everything, and it was a fiasco. You know, Sparky was pulling me off to the side, you know, out of the hotel room at night to, you know, just hang out and talk and just get away from in there and not be alone. And yeah, and Sparky also was kind of hot potatoed between who was sharing a bed with them. That was kind of a thing. I honestly, personally feel really bad about it. Anyways, yeah, that was a thing. So that is also where we met 2 other people that joined us for, we end up joining with so we ended up going the next brain. Now I don't remember getting anything for Sparky between the headphones and con. I don't remember getting them anything during con except running to get a Starbucks drink for them. Or sorry, anything between their birthday and con. Apologies. Because obviously I did get them stuff for their birthday and for Christmas because, you know, friends, you get things for them for the especially new friends. Anyways, so yeah, I was still very much, you know, I still very much had feelings for them. They were still very heavily play flirting with me. Oh, that is a situation I forgot to mention earlier. I feel bad that this is kind of jump around, but my memory is kind of spotty. So there was a time that I was going to be taking a look at Blitz's car to see if I could help with fixing it because he was having a lot of issue, or he was having an issue with his car where it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't starting, it wasn't going anywhere. Which he did end up having to take it to a shop and get it fixed at said shop. But I had come down to try to help figure out, you know, because with my ex-boyfriend, my first ex-boyfriend, I have two, I had learned how to, you know, work on cars to an extent, so I offered to help. And I was going to help anyways. But I did joke with Blitz, like, hey, you should you should harass Sparky to join us. I would have helped irregardless, like whether Sparky was there or not. It was just kind of a thing of like, oh, you know, they live in the same general area as Blitz, like, hey, I should be like, you know, join us. So yeah, they came and hung out with us while we were doing that. And like between different things of working on the car, you know, we did, you know, screw around, mess around, you know, the play flirting that we had been doing, made some TikToks, or yeah, there was at least 1 or 2 TikToks that were made during that. Anyways, so I have this. I wear this. It is a comfort item. At the time, there was only one person that I felt comfortable with having pull on it. And that was just because I trusted that they weren't going to hurt me. They weren't going to, like, you know, pull on it until I choked and then refuse to release, sort of thing. Because, like, I even if I trust that most people aren't going to do that are my friends, there's a certain comfort level you have to have with a person to be willing to let them do that. Anyways, so I had commented that I was okay with that, and so, or commented that I was comfortable with them doing that. So, like, they were messing around with it. You know, they pulled me to them a couple times with it. And at one point, like, they were sitting in the driver's seat of my car, and I was leaning over in, to, like, I think it was one of my attempts to reciprocate play flirting. I don't fully remember exactly what I was doing. It might have been TikTok related. It might have been being pulled in. I really don't remember exactly. I just remember that I was leaning in while they were sitting there. They were sitting in the driver's seat, and I was trying to find a place I could put my hand to keep myself from falling, because my balance can be off a lot of times because I have issues with my knees, issues that I do want to get figured out. But every time I try, I get pushback from doctors. These are issues I've had with my knees since I was a teenager. I've just kind of learned to live with them and deal with them. Anyways, so, like, I was trying to find a place to put my hand to be able to comfortably, like, you know, not fall as I'm leaning in the car. And I placed my fist on the seat. It is not touching them. It is on the seat, at the furthest edge of the seat. It ends up being technically between their knees. They black out. They grab my wrist. Now, I do not know what caused them to come back to. I have said in past, I can hope that what I said got through to their blacked out state. But there is no actual knowing, because they don't remember anything in their blacked out state. That being said, you know, as they are just like death grip on my wrist, I cannot, you know, I can't move my wrist. I'm losing feeling to my fingers. I'm just repeating, it's not going where you don't want it to. It's not moving, you know, you're safe, etc. Eventually they come back to, they release my wrist. I move it away from, you know, where it was. I think I end up putting it in the most uncomfortable of positions for trying to keep my balance, which was on the center console itself. It's where I should have put it in the first place. Wholeheartedly, I know that I made a mistake, but neither of us knew that that was going to cause them to black out. Like, we both kind of thought, well, I thought it would be a safe spot, and they stated afterwards that, you know, they didn't know that that would happen. Like, they thought that it would be a safe spot too, even though, like, they didn't know where I was going to put it prior. But they still didn't know that that would, you know, trigger. Anyways, so, yeah. Trying to go through everything. So yeah, that was part of the that was something that happened, and I'm absolutely certain that that was probably something that got mentioned. My friend did not remember if it was. I'm gonna call my friend Nuggets. There's a reason that is the code name that they get. Anyways, so yeah, Nuggets did not, I don't remember if Nuggets said whether or not that one got mentioned. I know Nuggets doesn't remember a lot of what was said because they said it was a lot and it was a hot mess, and it was a lot of, like, seeming like it was trying to pressure point on very specific nerves. Which I wouldn't be surprised. Sparky knows a lot of my triggers when it comes to my temper, when it comes to my depression, when it comes to anything. They know exactly what buttons to push to upset me and how. And honestly, they have a very good, decent idea of exactly how I'll respond to those button presses. Which is, you know, if it's a temper button press, I'm either going to get angry or I'm going to shut down. Which, after being told that it was very specific, it seemed like it was trying to push at very specific buttons, that is why I decided to make this without watching it. Because I wanted to be able to still have a clear head to say what I needed to say. Anyways, then later that evening, after the hand placement incident, Blitz is driving my car. So we had, as the three of us went to go eat, and then Blitz was driving my car back to where Sparky's car was, and Sparky and I were both in the back seat. Sparky was cold and was leaning up on me to, you know, be able to be warmer, because I am a literal furnace. And anyways, so at one point during that ride, Sparky decides it's a good idea to fake moan in my ear and pull at my shoulders, mimicking a thing happening. And when they're fake moaning in my ear, they're saying things like, "Harder, daddy." Please, begging, asking if they're a good girl, etc. Like, they are actively making this fake scenario sound realistic to my ears and my fantasies. Now, I should put in here, or state in here, I am asexual, but I am not a sex-averse asexual. So if I have romantic feelings for someone and they hit any of my physical triggers of arousal, the fantasies are going to exist whether I like them or not. I can literally look at this person and be like, I don't want to tap that. But they touch any of the, like, do anything that's going to physically trigger an arousal. Unfortunately, I am going to be stuck dealing with these fantasies that I don't want in my head. Depending on if I have feelings for the person or not determines how long these fantasies last. Also, the length of the touch also does. So yeah, that on top of the fact that they kept flirting with me like almost consistently every single day, like that kept the fantasies existing whether I wanted them to or not. And like, I have a lot of daydreams. I straight up admit I daydream far more than I should. If the daydream starts towards NSFW territory, I can't control it anymore. I usually try to keep my daydreams as far as possible from that. But sometimes I can't control them from the beginning, and I get no choice in the matter of them ending up that direction. I usually try to force my daydreams to be about fictional characters. Again, that doesn't always work. Anyways, so yeah, that specific instance spurned a lot that I wish didn't exist. Thinking of everything. On top of also, you know, the first day of getting to know them, of like getting to know them at con, you know, the day where it was an all day hanging around them pretty much thing, with them in that very skimpy outfit hanging all over me. That also had caused some of those images to pop into my head. So yeah, that also, like, when we would be hanging out, we would do, you know, ship videos of characters, which honestly probably was not the best idea when I was trying to get rid of feelings for them that I didn't want to have. But we did. So anyways, back to after OhioCon. So the new friends that we had made, so we split off from Rin. She is, you know, I break up with her because of, I already was going to break up with her. I had only started dating her because she asked me, or pointed out to me repeatedly, that she was single, because I had expressed interest, or expressed to her that I had come to, or the fact that, one, I'm single, and or was single at the time, and had come to that specific con to hang out with a friend of mine that I had met at my first con, and yeah, it was, so anyways, so for the rest of that con, she pretty much was like, you know, I'm single, I'm single, I'm single. So I had eventually agreed to dating her. So anyways, so like, when I started, I broke up with her because, like, as much as I tried to want to be with her, I didn't. Anyways, so yeah, new friends that we had made at OhioCon of 2023, we went to ZipCon with, and, you know, afterwards, while we were back at said friend's house, or one of the two friends' house, I should say, because the other one didn't live there, but was friends with, anyways, so yeah, we're back at the friend's house, and we're making TikTok videos, and Sparky and I are making ship videos. Most videos that we did together were usually Sparky's ideas. I had a few very specific ideas that I wanted to do. Some of them never happened. One of them never got to happen specifically the way I want it to. And I hope to eventually get to do this video with, like, hopefully whoever I end up with next is a cosplayer, and I can get them to do the video that I want to do with them. But maybe if I end up, like, with another friend who's comfortable with, you know, doing the sort of ship videos that I want to do, maybe, but we'll see. We'll see if this video ever gets to exist. Anyways, and then of course there's also the fact that I could find a way to do it, you know, by myself. It'd be a little awkward, but I'm sure I could come up with a way to do it. Anyways, so yeah, back to where I was. So we make some ship videos. One of them, or some videos, some of them are ship videos, others are not. One of the ship ones was supposed to be like a spicier one, and I really don't remember if this video was Sparky's idea or mine. I honestly do not remember. I believe it was posted on Sparky's page, and usually if it was posted on Sparky's page, it was usually Sparky's idea. And then if it was posted on mine, it was 50-50 shot if it was my idea or Sparky's. That being said, there is still the, like, 1% of the time that a video on theirs was my idea. So, moving on. So yeah, this video was a semi-spicy-ish ship video. Like, there was no clothing removal. It was just kind of like the closeness and the motions that were supposed to be spicy-ish. So like, I was messing around with one side of Sparky's neck for the video. I think it was Baku Deku. I think so. I don't remember for sure. I think it was Baku Deku because I'm pretty sure I was Bakugo for, like, only Bakugo for that whole week, or that for both, you know, that whole time period, because I had dyed my hair or bleached my hair and just left it blonde, and I really liked it with my, like, the way that I looked with my hat with it, my trans flag hat, which I need to find where the hell that went. Anyways, so I was messing around like on one side of Sparky's neck and then was moving to the other side. And like I tried to keep close without touching as I moved across so that it still looked intimate. I personally do not remember any part of me touching Sparky. At best, maybe my nose. But they proceeded to, after the video was done, be like, you got really close. Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize I was that close to you. Like, I didn't realize I was too, like, was I too, I'm trying to remember. I know that like I started apologizing for something different than what they meant that I had been close to. But still something that I knew was like not really good, not something I actually wanted to, actually should have, not something that I actually really wanted to do or actually was wanting to try to do, if memory serves. Anyways, so then they go, no, your lip grazed mine, which then proceeds to get me to have an even more apologies, because like I'm really fucking sorry. I did not mean for that. I didn't even feel that happened. Like I was not trying for that. Like I felt really bad, even though even at that time I did not remember my lip grazing anything. As I passed their face. So yeah, ow. So yeah, then working my way through situations, I do remember at OhioCon I had gotten a glasses case that when I got this glasses case, I was offering to watch their glasses or keep track of their glasses for them during con, and I had chosen a bright, sparkly rainbow glasses case with the thought process that after con they could take it home with them, and it being a bright ass fucking glasses case, it would help them stop losing their glasses so much. I was trying to help them help themselves. Well, they pretty much was like, well, you know, I'm probably still going to lose the case anyways, you keep it. And like somehow, I don't remember whose idea, how it exactly turned out. I don't remember whose entire idea it was, but I know that after a while I did get tired of this idea. It ended up turning out that, or being decided that, you know, every time we hung out, I would keep track of keep track of Sparky's glasses. Anyways, so I know that after a while I did get tired of keeping track of their glasses like that, and I did start like being like, again, I don't want to tell people no. I don't want to tell people that I don't want to do a thing. It makes me feel bad, even if it's something that I don't want to do. Even if it's something I'm not comfortable with, that's upsetting me. Like I I would kind of, after, I started kind of being like, I guess, naggy about it, like being like, yeah, when I come to see you, where are your glasses going? Like, I kind of started doing that as a way to, like, in hopes that it would make them uncomfortable enough that they'd stop making me babysit their glasses. Like, I legitimately did not want to continue babysitting their glasses, but I also didn't know how to say, hey, Sparky, I don't want to keeping track of your glasses. So, yeah, I didn't know how to say that. And there was a couple other things that, like, I kept track of for them that I would kind of low-key be like, how can you remember to tell me this, but you can't remember to, like, mark it down yourself? Like, I was saying these things in hopes that they would get the hint that I did not want to be doing these things for them. I did not want to be their keeper. I did it because I cared about them. But I did not want to be their keeper like that. So anyways, one time that we get together with, it's me, Sparky, Blitz, the two friends we made at OhioCon, and a couple friends of the friends we made at OhioCon that were all, meeting up and hanging out for a little bit. Sorry, the only reason I'm just using the saying the friends we made at OhioCon is because I'm still trying to come up with what code names to use for them. So, yeah, we'll get there. Oh, actually, I guess Aizawa and Michael work. So, anyways, so yeah, so it's me, Sparky, Blitz, Aizawa, Mike, a couple of Aizawa and Mike's friends, and Sparky's partner. So we all go out to eat, and then Sparky's partner leaves. I don't remember if it's for, I think he leaves for work. Maybe. I know he splits off from us. I don't remember to do what, in all honesty. And one of Aizawa and Mike's people leaves. Maybe it was two. But I know it was, it ended down to 6 of us. No, it's only one that leaves. It's only one that leaves. Because it ends down to only one of their friends that leaves. So it ends down to 7 of us. And we all, like, hang out and eventually go out to eat at another place. And then we go to a bar, a karaoke bar. There is, drinking. Brain, why was I bringing this situation up? Oh, yeah. But things, yeah, there's drinking, and then, once we all eventually leave, Aizawa ends up going back to Sparky's house with Sparky, Blitz, and I, while Mike takes their friend, Mike, when I say Mike, I mean present Mike. There's a reason that they got the code name of Mike for present Mike. But in all honesty, I should fully say present Mike because, yeah, we're just present Mike. So present Mike takes the one friend who's one of the two friends of theirs that had stayed with them back to where they belong, and the other friend also had to leave and go where he belonged. So yeah, so Sparky, Blitz, Aizawa, and myself all go back to Sparky's house. So anyways, not too long after that, I think it was about a week, Sparky and Blitz were at a bar again, and something about the situation had me worried about both of them. Like it wasn't just one of them that I was worried about. I was worried about both of them. Anyways, so like this whole time I had been trying desperately to get to a point that I was not in love with Sparky anymore. Like I had at the very least gotten to a point where like I was like, yeah, I'm kind of to a point of I love you so much platonically, but if you were to ask, I could drop the platonic part, meaning you're not going to ask, but like this is the level I'm at. Like it's anyways, and then so I was worried about Sparky and Blitz because I deemed Blitz like my brother a long time before a while before this. So Sparky's phone dies because they have a tendency to let their phone die a lot. Like they just their phone battery dies really fast. Anyways, so like their phone dies while they're on call with me, while they're at that bar with Blitz. And so after their phone dies and they are no longer on call with me, like I semi-panic a little, and my first thought in my head immediately after I realized that they're no longer connected to the call is I'm worried about my brothers. My brain did not go, I'm worried about my brother and the person I'm in love with. My brain did not go, I'm worried about Sparky and Blitz. My brain said, I'm worried about my brothers. And I was thinking of the two of them. And so then, you know, when I realized that was like the unconscious thought I had, I was like, oh my gosh, finally. I'm finally to a point where I'm not in love with Sparky anymore. We do, like, after I explain this to them, I do say to them, like, look, this is still a new situation in my head. I don't know, in my head, in my heart, you know, I don't know what will happen if you play flirt. Let's not play flirt for a while. And the immediate response, their immediate response when I say that we should not play flirt for a while is, good luck with ship videos then. As if that's the only thing important. Like, and I kind of expressed, you know, ship videos aren't that important. It's fine. It's fine if we don't, you know, because I'm trying not to risk getting into another situation of anything that could possibly make me fall in love with them again. Because I'm relieved. I feel so much fucking relief because I'm like, I see them as my brother now. Like my unconscious thought said that they were my brother. I'm not. Like, there was so much relief. The next time I see them in person, we make because of how they had reacted to me saying that no play flirting anymore, I made the decision to be like, hey, if you still want to do ship videos because of how you react, and basically I don't remember the exact words, but basically my whole thought process was, with the way you reacted to me saying no play flirting and your response to that being about ship videos, we can try one ship video or a couple ship videos. You can't go, you know, too heavy on the play flirting with it, but we can try and we can see if I can separate and just see it as the characters. And so that we try it, and I'm fine. Like, it doesn't seem to cause any issues. I don't feel any different. I still am like subconsciously thinking brother, and so I'm like, okay, awesome. And so I amend it to, we can only play flirt in cosplay, because then, you know, with the way as it already is, that when I'm in cosplay, it's not so much about the cosplay and how good of a cosplay it is. It's about getting into character and how I see the character, which in and of itself has been a bit of an issue at times, where like if I swap too many cosplays in a day, I actually kind of put myself into a form of panic, because I am panic and overwhelm, because I am swapping too much and not properly connect, or I'm swapping in my brain pattern, I guess you could say, like, because I'm swapping personality, because I'm like, basically when I put on the wig, I'm putting on a personality. Me bringing that up will kind of be important later. Anyways, so yeah, I make that a point. And like, mind you, with that, like, I'm still okay with the whole thing of like, you know, you joke threaten your friend and them responding with, oh, harder daddy, like that I don't deem play flirting. So like that would have been neither here nor there. But like, after a while, they do eventually start play flirting again. Anyways, so then President Mike and Aizawa bring up some issues regarding Blitz, and I believe also Sparky's mama did, if memory serves, but again, this is kind of a foggy zone of memory. I think Sparky's mama did, pretty sure. And then, you know, Aizawa and President Mike did. And so they're having, and you know, Sparky's noticing things that Blitz had done, actions that he had taken, actions that like I had never spoken on. Oh shit, I completely skipped over conversation number 1. Fucking hell. Okay. So I will continue the Blitz situation after backtracking to another situation. So at one point, because of a situation to do with Blitz, but not quite as, not the situation that I was talking about originally. Sparky, Blitz, and I had ended up with starting a Life 360 circle, because I did not have an iPhone at that time. So yeah, we had the Life 360 circle. When we added Aizawa and President Mike into the fold, they got added into the Life 360 circle. So One of the nights that, like, I knew Sparky had something going on, but I didn't remember, or they hadn't said what time. And so I, when I went on my break at work and was my usual time for voice chat, and I don't remember what else was happening around then, but I know that they had something that they were doing with family, and like I kind of was having a bit of a mental panic, but also like I have a Life 360 circle with my family, and my family has kind of gotten me into this habit because like I would sit there and call like one person or another and be like, hey, where are you at? And they'd be like, why didn't you just check Life 360 before you called? Or like, I'd be like, hey, are you at work? Wanting to ask them something that required, them being at work. And my the family member that I would call would be like, why didn't you just check Life 360 before you called? Because I'm at home, I'm not at work. So this is a habit that I had been kind of put into. So like before joining the call or trying to get them into a Discord, or before trying to get them into a Discord call with me, I had, in order to see if they were busy or not, done what my family had got me into the habit of. And checked that Life 360 circle to see if they were home. It had apparently not updated, or they were about to leave when I had checked. But that's neither here nor there. That's not the important part. I did do that. And I still to this day feel extremely terrible about it. And I had mentioned to Soap Opera, who had eventually, joined me in that voice chat about it. And he was kind of squeamish about it. I don't blame him. I feel like a piece of shit for it. And so the next day, I got a call that included Sparky, their partner, Aizawa, Present Mike, and I believe also Soap Opera, but I think he joined later because I think he was still in school at the time. I think he was still in school at the time of the call. Like, I think it was that type of hour. So, I get a call and I get told a lot of things that I had done that were crossing boundaries that had never been pointed out to me that I had crossed boundaries. Up until that point, none of the things I had been doing that had been crossing boundaries had been mentioned to me at all. And so I started like paying more conscious attention to the things I was doing, trying very hard not to do the same things. And this conversation was before the day that we had all went to the bar. Just for reference. So, eventually, I get, there's a point where Blitz tries to tell, Aizawa and Present Mike that I'm not improving, and to the point that, like, they're like kind of like the three of them are talking with Sparky, and Sparky snaps at them because Sparky's like, no, he has improved. I've noticed the improvement. And so, yeah. I don't know the exacts. I just remember Sparky told me this fact. That's the only reason I know that this was a thing. Anyways, So, then, okay, so now we can move back to the Blitz situation. So Blitz gets, ends up getting pushed out of the group. I very much miss him. But I don't bring it up much because I know that Sparky, having been his friend for longer, was hurting a lot when it came to him. And then some other shit happened in their life, and they were like really sad and upset, and like we had at the time, or at this time of like a lot of this happening, my car was, so in February of 2023, my car had broken down, transmission went out. So I took it to go get repaired. The shop that I went to, I had to make payments on it. So I was like, we had made an agreement, the last time that they had picked me up and brought me, to, their place, which was the time that we had all went together to the bar. Either then or sometime after that on a call, I don't remember the exact timing, we had made an agreement that, after I got my car back, I would, come down there. So when I did get my car back, we came up with a date that I was going to go down there. And because like I knew that they were fairly depressed and things were going, and how much they love plushies, I had ordered the only normal-ish, the only normal bear I could find on Build-A-Bear that was green. Ordered that with a white t-shirt, and then with some vinyl, some glittery iron-on vinyl that I had put "Eat This" on it, with All Might's little hair strand things, and was like, and told them, I'm like, hey, I got you this plushie to try to help you feel better. And that when I come down, I'm going to throw it at your face, because of a joke about throwing a sandwich at Blitz's face at one point when he was crying. And so, yeah, that kind of became a joke. So I'm like, yeah, I got you this plushie to try to make you feel better. I'm going to throw it at your face when I see you next. So, yeah. I feel like there's more in here somewhere. I know also I had gotten them a cosplay, a Todoroki cosplay, because I had found the strawberry dress, and like that I thought that they'd really like. And when I showed it to them, they're like, there was something about that they would wear it if I got it for them or something. I don't remember the exacts, but like I know that it was pretty much a thing of like, if you get it for me, I'll wear it. Oh, actually, yeah. So the whole thing was like, if you want me to cosplay something and I don't already have the cosplay, if you want me to cosplay it, you have to get me the cosplay. Now, mind you, they wanted to cosplay Todoroki. They had actually cosplayed Todoroki in the past with someone else's wig. So like, I'm like, okay, cool. You said that, if I get it for you, you'll wear it. So I got, I ordered the strawberry dress and like some other strawberry based pieces to go with it, along with a Todoroki wig that also came with pigtails. because I'm like, okay, cool. You said you'll wear it if I get it for you. Mostly anything of like, you know, you want to cosplay Todoroki. Here, I'll help you with that. In no way, shape, or form did I expect anything back out of this. It was just a, okay, here's a cool cosplay. You said you said when I showed you the dress, you're like, hey, if you want to get it for me. Oh, actually, I remember the exact way that this gets worded. Okay, so they were looking for dresses for Todoroki. I was helping them look to like send them links that they could put into their wish list. And I had found this dress and I'm like, you probably wouldn't want it though, because I know you're picky and you want to be able to see the reviews, and this doesn't have any reviews. And they're like, well, if you get it for me, I'll wear it. And so I had ordered the dress without anything else. Well, the dress never arrived, and I got refunded for it. So then I pointed out, or then when I was reordering it, I also, you know, made the comment of like, or there was this whole thing of like, I don't remember if I was finding the pieces or if they were. I think some of it was them and some of it was me, but like they were sending me links. They sent me links to, I believe, a headpiece and a pair of long socks to go with the dress. And I also had, you know, found a Todoroki wig that had the pigtails and a strawberry bag that I wanted to get them to go with the dress. So like I ended up ordering them this whole cosplay because, again, I wanted to make them happy. I wanted them to be happy and be able to enjoy this cosplay that they seemed kind of excited for. And like I didn't expect anything out of it. I was just getting them something because, hey, this makes me think of you, or hey, this is something you want. So yeah, I ordered this the cosplay, all the pieces and everything, and gave it to them. I don't remember what point within the timeline that this happened. I know that Blitz was part of picking out certain parts, but beyond that, I don't remember exact points of the exact like pinpoint spot of where this belongs within the timeline. Another thing that I had gotten them at one point, well, I shouldn't say gotten them, I had given it to them. My original Bakugo wig had gotten pretty destroyed from it being styled because it was a very thin, cheap wig that just, it did not agree with being styled. So I had gotten myself another wig. Well, when I ordered my new wig, apparently I had forgotten that, so I had been choosing between two wigs, and I had ordered one, forgotten I ordered it, and ordered the other. Oh, fuck, I hate dealing with this. Yes. Okay. So I ordered the one that I currently have, and then forgotten I had ordered that, and then ordered a second one. Well, when the second one came in, I'm like looking at it very confused. I'm like, and then I look at my orders, I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Well, and then like looking at the wig, I personally didn't care for how it looked for Bakugo. So I was going to send it back. But I had messaged in my group chat with Sparky and Blitz and Aizawa and Present Mike. Was Present Mike and Aizawa in part of this? Yes. About it, and Sparky had, I think I asked if any of them wanted it before I sent it back. And in all honesty, I can 100% go in and pull up screenshots. Like, I do not delete anything to the best of my ability. Now, some stuff from when I swapped from my Samsung to my iPhone, some of them did not properly send over in the transition, which does make me upset. But anyways, I should be able to scroll back and find the screenshot of this. But anyways, so like I had asked if any of them wanted it. Sparky had been like, yeah, I'll take it. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll give it to you when I see you next. So they also had gotten that Bakugo wig from me. Again, that was just a matter of like, oh, hey, I want to get rid of this. Because I'm going to send it back. I just want to know if anybody wants it before I send it back. Because there's, if one of you wants it, there's no point in me sending it back. Anyways, so that was also another thing. Is there anything else within that time period that I need to worry or think over? No. So, time to move on to MatsuriCon 2023. So, between us having done the one ship video, actually no, we're not going to do MatsuriCon yet. We're going to go to when Sparky, Aizawa, and Present Mike come to visit me in July. So, yeah. So, between when I had seen Sparky last in person and when the three of them come to visit me, we do have, like, some issues. Not issues. Why did I say issues? No, sorry. We have some situations where Sparky is kind of like leaning back into the play flirting. And even though I should have pointed out, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that anymore. I had asked you not to. Instead, I just kind of ignore it. It was thankfully not really causing any issues for me. So like, I think that's one of the reasons I didn't really say anything was like, I was like, oh, well, I mean, it's not really, I'm noticing it's not really seeming to lean me back towards having feelings for you. So, thankfully that's the thing, yeah. I hate how like off I sound here. Anyways, so like, I'm pretty sure that I had noticed that like it wasn't seeming to have an effect on me. Like there was a point where we tell a friend of Sparky's online that like it's a shame he missed during the time period that Sparky could like have me practically on my knees just from verbal statements over call, because I was like, by the time that he had joined the server that we had of like friends, I was no longer, I was pretty much immune to their verbal play flirting. So like I wasn't noticing any difference in how I felt towards them. I was still thinking little brother. So like I never said anything, even though in all reality, I wasn't entirely comfortable with them play flirting with me anymore. And I should have said something. I really should have, but I didn't. So anyways, they come up, the three of them come up, we work on Sparky's, Dobby cosplay. Sparky plays around with my 6-inch heels that I had. at the time that I did end up giving to them because I had a lot of issues with trying to wear them. So I ended up giving up on them, and Sparky seemed to like them. So I was like, here, keep them. I just, no, I don't like them anymore. And, but that was not at that point. At that point, I was still planning to wear them for con, which I did not do. Working my way through things. So yeah, they kind of like strut a little and like pose and shit in that cosplay. Well, prior to us painting it, so like in the flesh tone bodysuit, having me take pictures of them. And then like after we had already, you know, like, and like I made a shirt for them for that cosplay that they had requested, because it was a crop top, because they wanted, you know, they wanted a shirt for Slutty Dobby. And so yeah, I made the crop top for them. I believe it says Daddy. Yeah, it's a white shirt that we cropped and kind of like cut up in a few different other spots, and then put the word Daddy across it in blue glittery iron-on vinyl, because they wanted that. That was what they wanted for that cosplay. And so yeah, we made, like, we kind of made that together. I had to do the vinyl part on my own, but like I had, you know, the two of us had like done the cutting up part together. Anyways, so leading up to con after that, so I had gotten my Chuya cosplay and I was really excited about it and I wanted to wear it at con. And this is where one of my mistakes comes in. And I will admit that this is a mistake. I started kind of bugging them, probably borderline harassing in all honesty, asking them to cosplay Dazai at con, knowing that this is a summer con. Dazai requires bandages that are added layers in heat, and Dazai is someone that they cosplayed with Blitz, and they had not cosplayed Dazai since the situation with Blitz, with having to put, with us making the decision, and like it was all four of us who had made this decision to push Blitz away. So I kept harassing them to cosplay Dazai. I know what was wrong with me. And I had like even gone so far as to be like, I'll get you this, or this for Dazai, you know, if you cosplay him. And eventually it finally like broke through to me that I was being an ass. So then I'm like, I'm sorry, I won't bug you to cosplay Dazai anymore. I'm being a dick. I'm sorry. So, you know, we talk about what character they want to cosplay, and they come to the decision of Bakugo. But they're like, but I don't really have anything to wear for him. And I'm like, well, since I already offered to get you a cosplay, even if it was for something that you don't want to wear, and I was being a dick, I'm still willing to get you, cosplay pieces to make it so you can have, whatever you want to wear for him. So then they're like, okay, well, I want to do Hooters, basically do like, they're like, I want to do Hooters Bakugo. So I'm like, okay. I help them, they help the two of us, work towards finding the stuff, and I order it for them. Because, and then they're able to do, Hooters Bakugo at MatsuriCon. Which also, due to circumstances, I also allowed them to pay their part of the hotel room in commissions to me. Which they initially offer a commission that I had asked about as a joke. So when I had asked about this commission as a joke, I was talking about a character that I had created, an OC of mine for My Hero Academia, and an OC of theirs for My Hero Academia, and was just being essentially a smartass, like not expecting an answer. Like, I was wholeheartedly expecting them to be grossed out by it or just be something that they were straight up unwilling to draw. So I'm just like, so how much would you kill me if I asked you to do an image, or asked you to do an image of these two characters fucking? I had zero actual, like, plan to actually request this. And they give me a number. And I'm like, that is not what I was expecting. And, like, I'm flabbergasted. I don't know how to answer or how to go on from there. I'm just like, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting you to, like, answer with disgust. Like, that is what I was planning for. What am I supposed to do here? How am I supposed to respond to this? Then, that image never happens. Well, when we make the decision for them to do commissions for me to pay for their part of the hotel room, they bring that one back up. They're like, specifically, they're like, hey, if I draw this image for you that I had, that you had, asked about, will that be enough for the hotel room? And I'm like, listen, I see you as a brother now. I don't feel comfortable with that because the characters are essentially each of us, and that's just weird. But I'm okay with the idea of doing the commission. What if we have them like this? And, it's basically my character kind of like arms crossed, looking up at their character in their quirk form, holding a sling that has a puppy in it. That's what the image is. It's adorable. And when I tell them, when I tell everybody what the room share amount is, they realize that based off of their price range, that picture or image is technically not quite enough for their share, even though I personally was going to be fine with it being enough. But they asked for, they kind of like were like asking about other things that they could put or draw, and so we end up coming to the conclusion, or coming to the agreement of, them also doing my doing a reference sheet for my OC Tundra, Tundra being my fursona. And so yeah, so then through con, like, I try to split my time between everyone I'm there with the only exception being, Sparky and I were agreed to do the photo shoots together, because we made a decent team for the photo shoots, because, they're, one of us would be doing the yelling, the other did the camera, and because both of us have, like, well, yeah, both of us kind of like have issues where we end up breathless after doing too many photo shoots in a row of doing all of the yelling. You know, we made the agreement to swap back and forth on being the who yells the characters and who does the pictures. Anyways, so, you know, I kind of try to split my time between everyone. Like, there is one point when I'm hanging out with one of the people of the group that they're like, I thought we were gonna be, you know, hanging out with everybody. Like, I didn't realize it was gonna be the two of us. And I'm like, well, last I knew, Sparky and Aizawa are planning to go around the dealer's hall. Just kind of shrugged. And so when she expressed that she wanted to go look for them, I'm like, okay. So we go and, you know, look for them, and like, she's taller than me by a lot. She is 6 foot, and she was also wearing heels. So like, she was also taller than 6 foot. So I'm joking that that she'll probably see them, the two of them, before I do. And she's joking that I'll probably see the two of them before she does, because I supposedly have a Sparky radar. Anyways, so I don't remember which one of us finds them first, but like, we walk up to them, we hang around Khan and shit, or hang around them and two friends that we had picked up along the way, Larry and, well, Larry's partner. I'm really not sure what code name to use, and sadly, this is one of the code names Nuggets doesn't remember. So we're just gonna work with Larry and Larry's partner for now. So yeah, we hang around the Aizawa, Sparky, Larry, and Larry's partner. There's, throughout this con, there's unfortunately another whole fucking fiasco of situation. By the middle of September, end of September, maybe, Aizawa and Present Mike get pushed away by the two of us, and we get closer with Larry and Larry's partner. It's actually interesting that I choose Larry for him when I met him when he was in Dazai cosplay, and he's saved in my phone under Dazai, because I still haven't changed that. Anyways, that being said, Larry and Larry's partner, so we get kind of closer-ish with them. Sparky definitely more so than me with them. Although Sparky and I do make jokes that I'm closer to Larry than I am Larry's partner, and Sparky is closer to Larry's partner than they are to Larry. So the two of us make jokes that it's kind of funny that that's how it turned out. But like, obviously that we both see them both as friends. Anyways, so like, Sparky and I work Renaissance Fair. Oh, shoot. Backing back up to MatsuriCon. The one scenario that is one of the biggest issues for me. So the last night that we're in the hotel, so like it's Sunday night of MatsuiCon. Con's over. We're just hanging out with friends in the hotel room because I set up the hotel room for up until the day after con so that we can, you know, pack up at the end of the day and be ready to leave in the morning. Anyway, so we're hanging around. I'm being a little shit and tickling Sparky because, you know, what's a little tickle torture between friends, especially in a situation where I see them as a brother. And they had made the executive decision to decide that a good punishment for me tickling them was to, in their words, make me live my dreams. Now, the making me live my dreams was meant to be making me live my nightmares, things that I'm afraid of. Said thing that I was afraid of was ever accidentally causing them to black out again. I was terrified of any part of me getting into or touching the zone of them that is the guaranteed blackout zone. I was terrified of that ever happening. And they knew it. So they made the executive decision to make me live my dreams, meaning my nightmares, treating it as the supposed exposure therapy, and wrapped their legs around my head. And it wouldn't have been so bad if I was facing away from them. But no. They wrapped their legs around my head where I was facing them. And I was close enough to down there that if I stuck out my tongue to its maximum extent, it probably could have touched. Now, my depth perception is shit. I might actually not have been that close. That being said, that is how close it felt like. And I would have tried to pull out of that, except my cartilage piercing here, I don't know if you can see it in the lighting, was still fairly new. And as it was, the position of Sparky's legs on my head was already causing pain from it being shoved against my head. I did not want to risk fucking up my piercing by trying to yank my head out of their legs. So I'm just kind of like there trying to stare up at their eyes and not at what's right in front of me, like in literal terror, like not sure what the fuck is supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do, what's going on, how to handle this situation. Eventually they let me go. Like I try to play it off as a joke while their legs are still wrapped around me. I try to play it off as a joke afterwards. It is the one time that I was the most uncomfortable around them. Anyways, so after con, then, you know, everything with pushing Aizawa and Present Mike out. During Ren Fair has its own brand of issues. The first booth I was at ended up firing me for things that I couldn't help. I shouldn't say I couldn't help so much as I didn't fully realize I was doing. And for a comment that I made that was meant to be the type of comment that you make to someone that you're close-ish with, that I thought I was closer to the person that I made the comment to, And even though I really shouldn't have made the comment, but it was the same type of joke that I was used to Sparky kind of making at me. And so like I made the joke itself to the person, and it was construed as bullying. It was not meant that way, and I still feel extremely terrible for that, because I did not mean to make that person feel bullied. But anyways, so leading up to Ren Fair, Sparky had been telling me how they were excited to introduce me to their friends there. And like, I had heard all these stories about all sorts of different people from Ren Fair. Like, I'm excited to meet everyone. And more often than not, I'm finding myself alone in the tent, not being introduced to anyone. Like, I'm getting to the tent and getting a message of, hey, I'm at so-and-so's tent, I'll see you later. Hey, I'm at so-and-so's tent, I'll see you when dinner's ready. Like, I'm not, like, sometimes I am getting introduced to people, and that's great, but I'm feeling abandoned in a place that's new and terrifying, and I don't know many people. I'm new to Ren Fair. I'm new to sleeping in a tent. Like, I don't know what is going on, and I'm being repeatedly left alone when I had been promised to be introduced to like all these people. So yes, I kept trying to get physical affection. I kept trying to get the physical affection of just head pets or cuddles, because I'm worried that my friend doesn't care anymore. I just want physical tangible proof that they still care, that they're still there. And yes, I'm aware that I pushed too much for that literal just physical attention of just head pet. I pushed too much for it. I'm aware that I did. I'm aware that it was wrong. I'm aware that it doesn't matter what was going on. I shouldn't have been like that. But it doesn't change that that's what happened. So then, we have one day where we go to, Larry and Larry's partner's house. Well, one weekend, day, because I take that Monday off, so that we can go there, Sunday night, stay the night, and then, at the end of the day on Monday, go our separate ways back home. Anyways, trying to think of what all I can say without. Okay, yeah. So like, there is some drinking, not really getting drunk. But there's this whole biting thing that gets done, like who can bite hardest or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it came up. I just know that, Larry bites me on the back of my shoulder, like on the shoulder blade. That hurt like a bitch for like a whole week after. And Larry's partner does bite me on the neck, I think. Somewhere. I know Larry's partner did too, but like not like a bite. And then Sparky makes the executive decision to bite me on the back of the neck in quote unquote a alpha bite. And for anyone who knows the Omegaverse, you know what I mean. And then, you know, I know I bite Sparky's hand. I don't think I bit either of the other two. Because Larry was not comfortable with it. And I don't remember if I bit his partner or not. I don't remember whether or not I did on that one. Anyways, like, I didn't bite Sparky hard. I just, you know, gentle, like, that was it. Anyways, working my way through everything. I really should have wrote down what I wanted to talk about, because, like, this is a process of trying to remember everything, which is fun. Anyways, then the next morning, after we've all slept and whatnot, Sparky proceeds to bite me on the back of the neck again. While the two of us were cleaning up from, you know, the prior night's food, snacks, beverages, etc. We make food for them at some point. I think it was that day. Pretty sure it was. Anyways, so yeah, then, during, the next half of Ren Fair, while I'm working for a food booth instead of the booth that I was originally working for, I meet someone that I end up like gradually developing romantic feelings for. I really was not expecting it either. Like, he had started trying to flirt with me. I didn't even fully notice, because, like, I really did not register that he was trying to flirt with me, because he's kind of shitty at flirting. But then, like, I did eventually realize he was trying to flirt with me, and so, like, I started flirting back, and was very much flustering him, which honestly I was mildly proud of myself, because I was used to being the one flustered and not the other way around. Anyways, so I initially am just friends with him. There's a whole thing about, like, I'm shitty at choosing partners, so I'm not allowed to choose a partner without, you know, approval of a friend who can just, like, kind of vibe check the future partner. So, like, I, you know, get Sparky to meet him, and Sparky approves of him. Yes, Sparky actually tells me that they approve. But anyways, so the night that Sparky meets him, where the three of us are in, you know, mine and Sparky's tent. He and I are sitting on my cot, and Sparky, being the little shit that they are, decides that they're going to start play flirting with him. Like, sit on his lap and act like a dommy mommy type, flirting with him. Right there, next to me, knowing that I'm slightly interested in him. He and I do end up, you know, deciding to, you know, be partners. And we do the deed. But we're gonna work to that. So anyways, yeah, we'll work to that because that's after another thing. So we are at Larry and Larry's partner's house again after a weekend of Ren Fair. On my way down to Ren Fair that particular weekend, my car breaks down again. It was such a lovely joy. So I end up, since I had vacation hours, putting in to take that whole week off. I had already had that Monday off because we were going to Larry and Larry's partner's house. So I take the rest of that week off so that I just have the whole week off and I'm just going to stay down in site. Anyways, so we hang out there. There is drinking again. This time heavier than the last time. If there's one thing to know about me, I get uncomfortable around people drinking when they drink enough to get drunk and change personality. So yeah, I kind of freak out a little bit about how things are going because I'm worried. Because if y'all have seen Sparky in my videos, it's like, how do I word this? They're a lightweight. There, we'll work with that. So anyways, I'm worried about them because I don't want them to drink more than they should. You know, when they cut themselves off and say that nobody's allowed, or say for nobody to let them, you know, drink anymore, like I remind them. But I was extremely uncomfortable, like way more, like that's probably the second most uncomfortable moment around Sparky for me. And I'm like kind of freaking out like any fucking brother would when they're worried about their younger sibling, but trying to keep it also like wrapped inside of just not panic. And so I kind of end up momming them a little bit. And I accidentally mom Larry as well. It's not intentional. But anyways, so that whole situation happens. Sparky bites me yet again on the back of the neck while they're drunk. And I make a comment to them of, hey, if you can bite me there, why can't I bite, or can I bite you there? I don't actually want to. I'm trying to point out to them how fucked up it is that they have done this to me now 3 fucking times and that they shouldn't be biting me there. The first time was yeah, you're gonna bite me and you've made the comment that you're gonna alpha bite me. I was like, okay, I didn't really want them to, but I didn't want to say no, so like, that was neither here nor there. That one I don't count as an issue. The second one was unprompted, unwarranted, they just came up and bit me on the back of the neck. After they did that, I proceeded to tell them that's not a good idea. So I at the very least, you know, made But then this time, from this second time of being at Larry and their partner's house, being the third time that they bite me there, I'm like trying to, I low-key like try to push the issue of, well, if you can bite me there, why can't I bite you there? Trying to get them to realize that it's not okay in the first place. Because I don't know how to properly tell someone no, like I should. I'm bad at communicating that. And I recognize that I'm bad at communicating that, and I'm trying to get better about it. That being said, there's not really that many people physically in my life right now that I need to try to push that boundary with. Actually, to be 100% honest with you, I don't have anyone that I have need to push that boundary with physically in my life right now. But I am trying to get better about communicating any sort of boundary or any sort of issue. So then when we leave Larry and Larry's partner's house, I get dropped off back at site. Sparky goes home because they have to work that week. So then, I go find the guy that I had started talking to, and we hang out in the tent together and we do things. It is only him and me in that tent. Sparky is long gone at home by this point. And like, I make sure that nothing gets on anything that's not mine. For that matter, specifically, I get us onto the floor on a towel just to make sure. Mostly because I had something I had knitted on top of my cot that I kind of did not want anything to happen to. But also because I was trying to keep it off of anything that it should not be on. So yeah. And we, agree to, we make the decision to date. Throughout the rest of that week, I help out a booth. I hang out with him. We do one more thing that's not all the way. And then like after Ren Fair's over, he doesn't really contact me. And so I panic at that. I also mildly panic at the potential of having another child because I already have one child. And like, thankfully that did not become a case. That does not happen. But that was a worry. A few weeks later, Sparky goes and hangs out with Larry and Larry's partner again, just the three of them. Like, I'm mildly jealous because I stuck working and alone, so like I don't get to go hang out. But that's the only reason I was jealous, was because I had to be at work and my friends got to be being friends with my friends got to be having fun together without me. It's like, hey, I'm glad for you guys. I'm mildly jealous because I have to work. But it was kind of like treated like I was jealous because Sparky was with people. And it's like, no, I'm jealous because I have to work and my friends are having fun while I have to work. Why wouldn't I be jealous? So, yeah, and then, a few weeks later when I am at my ex's house dropping off my son and, having, you know, family second Thanksgiving for, my son, and, the fact that it's my ex's, birthday that weekend and such, I'm there. I get to deal with a second conversation where I'm being explained to what all I've been doing again, that I didn't realize I was doing. And it was mostly the whole cuddling thing, or wanting cuddles and wanting head pets and momming. And so, you know, I promised to do better. And I get a message later saying that the other two who wanted to talk to me about the issues would be talking to me the next day. So anyways, the next day, later in the day, I send them a message of, hey, when you get a chance, is there any way we can talk more about what you were talking to me about the night prior? Because I just want to make sure that I understand everything so I don't fuck up again. And this is one of many times when I should have pointed out things to Sparky that they were doing. But I didn't. I should have. And they explain some of the things, and they point out that now, like, a while prior to this, like, it had been pointed out to me that I'm autistic, and I realized, yeah, that's probably right, because, like, this aligns and that aligns, and my dislike of certain textures aligns, and yeah, my inability to read emotions on people's faces. Every once in a great while, can I actually read it? And I'm usually shocked when I'm right. When that happens. That is how bad my ability to read emotions on faces is. So it gets pointed out that because of my autism, I probably will pick up, or am probably picking up, like, I guess, mirroring them. One of the things they point out is that they didn't expect me to be into furry stuff. And I made the mistake of pointing out my interest in kink stuff prior, instead of pointing out the fact that prior to meeting them, I was in love with a fucking dragon. Like, bro. Or the fact that, you know, prior to meeting them, I also had a slight thing for the cat cop from My Hero Academia. Like, these are two fictional crushes I had before I met Sparky. Like, did I not fully understand what a furry was prior to meeting Sparky? Yeah, no, I did not fully understand. Sparky only opened the door to the knowledge of what it was that I was interested in. Not, my friend is interested in this, I need to be interested in this so that I can make them like me more. That was not the case there. That was very much thanks for letting me know the terms that I didn't know existed for that which I already know is a thing in my head. So yeah, I did not fully know about furry culture prior to meeting Sparky, no. But I was already in love with a character that was an anthropomorphic animal, essentially. And I was also already in love with a fucking dragon. I'm sorry. you can't claim that one. I think that was the only one that they mentioned to me that night. They might have pointed something else out, but I don't remember for sure. I just know that was one that they pointed out when mentioning the mirroring thing. And they pointed out a few other things, but I don't remember exactly what they were at this point. I've spent far too much time trying to focus on another thing that you'll understand when I get to it. So then later I get a message asking if I can join voice chat because it's the point where the other two people are ready to talk to me, which is Larry and Larry's partner. Which I already theorized it was probably them, because all of this came about after Sparky had been at Larry and Larry's partner's house. Anyways, so the four of us talk. I get told some things that I was doing that Larry's partner noticed, which honestly was mostly the same things that Sparky had already told me. The pushing for cuddles, the pushing to get to bite Sparky on the back of the neck, which was not meant for what they construed it as. But I didn't correct them, even though I should have. And a couple other things. And then, Larry speaks his piece. And proceeds to say to me that we all had the same, we supposedly all had the same training, that I should be able to read emotions on people's faces and body language. I have tried. Actually, with my first ex, I used to try to read his emotions and body language, and every single time I thought I had it figured out, he threw me for a loop, and I was completely wrong and off again. And was also being informed that I should not base how I act towards people based off of what I think they're feeling. So yeah, that, like I said, sometimes I can catch something, and I'm usually fucking shocked as hell when I am right. Like, the closest I got to being able to read someone's emotions through something was through Sparky's texts, because I could tell by certain patterns in their text what their mood was to a vague extent. When I say vague extent, I mean like when they were angry or excited, it kind of overlapped. So like the context was necessary, but even then sometimes the context still didn't give me the proper answer. and that when they were calmer, but like I didn't know what particular emotion was going on with that calmer, they had another pattern of texting. So like I had a minor extent, but it still wasn't a full, hey, I can fully read you off of this. It was just kind of a, I have an okay idea. So yeah. And then I get called childish a lot. And then, you know, we eventually break off of that topic and just start talking about other shit. Then I get harassed into joining movie night with my ex. They all, for at the very least Larry, I don't know what the other two thought that I was going to bed when I said I needed to get off, but I thought I had been clear enough that I had to get off for movie night. I don't know. Then when the movie was over, my phone was actually in a reply screen that I had never seen it get into for Discord, because like this was long after I swapped to iPhone, and I didn't know you could get into a reply function for Discord notifications on iPhone. I learned that night, that it is possible. I still have yet to figure out how to recreate it, but it's possible. Anyways, so I saw that it was in a reply function, and my son and my son's father's partner's son had been like, you know, crawling over the phone multiple times. So I didn't know if they somehow like accidentally like typed any random ass message of like, you know, just random letters and numbers, but still I wanted to go in and check to see. So like I go into the server to like try to check, and I see that the three of them are still in voice chat. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna, you know, join and say hi. And things were really off when I joined, but we still talked for a little bit. I said something, I said one thing that I personally don't know if, I don't fully know if I made the one person, if I made Larry's partner uncomfortable with the thing I had said. The timing of their uncomfortable laugh and what I had said kind of coincides to make me think that they did, even though they put it off or played it off saying that it was a TikTok video that made them uncomfortable or made them laugh like that, and not me. But anyways, not long after that point, they like do a whole thing of giving Sparky an out, of being like, hey, if you're tired, you should probably go to bed. And then the two of them both like get off fairly quickly after. The next day, I don't bother any of them. Like the guy I had met at Ren Fair sends me a text that wakes me up, and so like I end up talking to him for like an hour or two on the phone, and then I start knitting the hat that I was knitting for him for Christmas. And so like that's all I do for most of that day. And then as I'm finally being taken home, because my car is still broken down, so I have to rely on, you know, them, on my son's father and his partner to get me home. As we're leaving, I check to see if the Christmas presents I had ordered from her for Sparky and Sparky's partner were done yet, and they weren't. So I send Sparky a message of, hey, when I come down for your birthday, I'm only going to bring your birthday present because yours and your partner's Christmas gifts aren't done, and I don't want to give everyone their Christmas gifts without being able to give you guys yours. And then I don't get a reply. I'm thinking, oh, Sparky's probably at work, you know, maybe they'll probably join voice chat after they get off like they normally do. So I just leave it be. And then around when they typically would be, or around the latest, I should say, that they typically message that they're off work and getting in voice chat, I start to go into the server. And that's when I realize I'm not in the server anymore. And I'm blocked on TikTok. And so in a panic, I send a message to Sparky of, can I at least know why, what changed between last night and today? And I never get an answer. I do try reaching out to two people, trying to be like, two different people that were mutual friends within the groups. Like, I'm not trying to reach out to Sparky through them. Not by any means. I just want to see if I still have friends. And the first one that I message, I message all the wrong way. And that's soap opera. And I feel really bad about the way I worded that message. And I can't take back that I sent it. And I probably should have sent something later or something after it, wording it better, but I didn't because I was still kind of in a panicky point about everything. And then eventually, or like probably about a week later, I think, I reach out to the other one once I realize that I have capability to reach out to them. And I worded a little better, but I guess I still fucked up somewhere in that because I wasn't trying to bring her into it. I was just trying to be like, hey, I'm just trying to still figure out who I still have. Because not long after I reach out to her, I get messages from Larry's partner, and Larry doing a whole you want answers, well here's your answers, explaining things that I already know. Some things that are in the messages are misconstrued or not even the truth. Sadly, I do have to say that the things that weren't the truth were like fewer by far. I think there was probably 2 things that weren't, maybe 3. I'm not rereading the messages right now to find out because they hurt. A couple of them were, or a lot more of them were misconstrued. And then there were a few things that were truth. And I know that. And the end of the one from Larry's partner told me that they hope I have a terrible life. And the ending of the one from Larry was threatening me. It was a threat of if I ever come near them, talking about his house. I end up finding a friend who's willing to go to Yuletide with me, and I use going to Yuletide as a point to get the stuff that Sparky had accidentally left at my house when they dropped me back off at home after Ren Fair. Sparky's wig that I was supposed to be cleaning for them. Sparky's hoodie that was the, whole thing of friends, we're friends, you keep one of my hoodies thing. So I was giving them that back. The cat ears and tail that they had bought for Aizawa that the 2 of us were supposed to share. I figured they were the one who bought it. I should send it back to them. And then I didn't know what else to do with the Christmas and birthday presents. I really didn't. So I still still put those in the box too. And so that day, I stopped, or the friend who was going with me was in my passenger seat. I parked in front of Sparky's car on the street, opened the back hatch. My friend who was in the car with me was the one who carried the box up to the house. It was one who had been to the house before. I would not have done that with someone who had not. I would have found another way to be able to get it there without me dropping it off, without me physically being the one to walk up to the house. Because under no circumstances did I want to be the one to walk up to the house. I barely liked having to drop it off because I didn't have money to mail it. So yeah. And then we finished our route to Yuletide, and but this whole time I've been trying to rack my brain for what was the reason that things changed overnight? Like, what did I do that I don't know that I did? Now, moving on to, based off of what I have been told was the reason that basically what Nuggets said, Sparky said in their video, was the reason that they were making the video. So I started a Has Been Hotel Discord server about February 12th-ish. I think. It was about mid-February. It was around Valentine's Day, and I know it was before Valentine's Day. I don't remember the exact day. And when talking to some people, there would be something said that would cause me to think of the situation with Sparky, and I would be like, yeah. And I would always basically sit there and say, yeah, I fucked up. We both kind of fucked up, but I fucked up more. That was essentially how I worded it. I really don't know what caused Demon. His name in the server was Demon Daddy, so I just call him Demon. I don't know what exactly I did that made him uncomfortable. I know one thing I did, which honestly I feel really bad for, because in all honesty, I should not have been talking about it yet. I had reconnected recently with Present Mike. They had pointed out that there is a chance that I could have, they pointed out to me, like, I did not bring this up. They brought it up first. Pointed out to me that there's a potential of me having DID. I don't know for sure if I do. I personally don't think I do. I think that if I do have anything related, it's OSDD. But I don't know. But the thing is being told something that I did think about more than once, essentially feeling like what I have been thinking was, is essentially making me think what I've been worried about was validated, something that I really don't want. I started kind of embracing it and taking the like little memories that I have obtained obtained is the bad word. I have memories that don't feel like my memories. I've had those for a while. And I have like these dreams where this one person who looks like me but like has gray hair talks to me, and they have a different name from me than me, and I also have about 2 different voices that I do hear in my head. So I was like, I took those like pieces of knowledge and like the fact that it had been said to me and started like accepting it instead of thinking about it critically, because I do have hallucinations. They're not all that common. Usually high stress or watching specific types of horror movies will cause them. But I do have them. So like there's that part of me that's like, am I hallucinating these things? Am I taking a thing that I got pointed out to me and then taking like things from other situations that are part of me but not actually that? And so after I made a comment verbally in voice chat and Demon like got on me about it, I went back to questioning it instead of just straight up accepting it the way that I had initially done. And I'm still unsure where things are. I am planning to try to get into therapy. I've been trying to find places that I can afford that are near enough that, that work with my insurance and stuff. Not to be like, oh, I need to get diagnosed with this, and this. I have absolutely no plan to be like, here, this is the list of everything I want to get diagnosed with. My plan is to be like, hey, I need therapy for a lot of shit. I have trauma. Also, these are the things that have been told to me that people think I have, and the reasons I've been given. And like, here are the things that I think I have and the reasons why. Can we discuss whether or not you think that that's a thing? Like, I don't want to go in there guns blazing of this is what I want to get to. No. Because I know that that's going to get me an eye roll. I know that that's going to get me not taken seriously. But anyways, but from what has been said, like, he was saying that I was making, or that it was how I was interacting with other people that was making him uncomfortable as well. And I don't know what could have, because it wasn't explained to me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong if it's not explained to me. I think that about sums everything up. If there's anything that you have questions about, feel free to DM me. If you want to take Sparky's side and Sparky's side only, I'll understand. But I wanted to get this out there because this is what happened, to the best of my memory. And unfortunately, I'm finding a lot more holes in that memory than I'd like. Or just the fact that I will not remember things until after I think about something way after that moment, as I'm sure y'all noticed. But yeah, that's what happened. If you have questions, if any of you have questions, my DMs should be open. If they're not, comments, let me know. Ask away. That is everything to the best of my memory. Yeah. There's definitely scenarios that I do remember happening that I just was not able to think of during the time period of filming any of these parts. There are definitely things that I did not mention just due to memory things, or just, you know, like I said, I'm sitting here trying to go through a little over a year's worth of friendship and explain as many situations as I can. And trying to explain that I am aware I did wrong on a lot of scenarios. But what I was told by nuggets who had watched the YouTube video, which they said from what they saw on TikTok, the YouTube video is just the full version, whereas the TikTok videos are the entire YouTube video cut up into pieces, I guess, which I wouldn't be surprised. And I will be posting all of this into a YouTube video. But yeah, this is everything that I can remember off the top of my head at this moment. Between when I filmed the first 3 hours of it yesterday, technically day before yesterday at this point, and then had to figure out how I was splitting it before posting it and everything. So yeah, I do have like one more thing I do want to mention that popped into my head as I started this pretty much. There was mention of me supposedly stalking them. So my account for my knitting and crocheting is a newer account. And there was one day that I remembered that it was a newer account and went to check because I just had this really strong feeling that I needed to, and like I kept telling myself I can't, and like when I had this like feeling, I was in the middle of like making a video that I was making on my crochet and knitting account that I have not posted the video yet. I need to rewatch through it to make sure it turned out the way I wanted it to. But anyways, so I had like, I can't, I don't have a way, and then it registered with me, oh wait. And then I argued with myself of like, don't, but like, I did give in and look, and that was how I found out about their dog, which I loved their dog very much. So I was very distraught that day after finding that out. And then of course the fact that I mentioned in one of the videos of taking all of the stuff that they had accidentally left at my house, or stuff that I was supposed to, or the wig that I was supposed to, you know, wash and brush for them, which I did wash and brush before putting it in the box. The hoodie of theirs that they had given to me that I had been wearing for, you know, over a year. Obviously not consecutive days, but you get what I mean. The Christmas and birthday presents for them and their family that I didn't know what else to do with. And the ears and tail for a cosplay that they had bought that was supposed to be shared between us, that I figured, yes, it was supposed to be shared between us, but they're the one who bought them, so get them back to them. I was not the one who carried that box to the porch, but I was the one who drove to the house for the person who put it on the porch. So, yes. But that's it. That's all you can really consider. Whereas I have been informed by Present Mike that Sparky and Blitz were watching some of my videos, or at the very least one of my Lucifer videos, and making fun of my cosplay. One of the couple times that Present Mike met up with them in person. Was it a couple times, or was it only one time? I know that they met up with them at least one time, within recent-ish times. And yeah, so I have not gone in and watched their videos. I think the next closest you get is the day before my birthday. I went to the city they live in because it was a chocolate shop that I wanted to go to, that I didn't know of any other locations. The way things had been described to me the one time I had been there, or been to that chocolate shop, it made it sound like it was the only city that it was in. I believe I have since found out that it is not the only city that it's in. But anyways, so I had went, you know, to the city they live in because I wanted to get that chocolate from that chocolate shop. And then I proceeded to also go to Build-A-Bear and Hot Topic and FYE and a couple other stores, because I was like, okay, while I'm down here, I'm not coming down here for just chocolate. So I was down in that city for an entire day. But I didn't go anywhere to look for them. In all honesty, I was on edge the entire time, pretty much looking over my shoulder, trying to make sure that I did not run into them. And that's it. That's all she wrote, guys. So yeah, I don't know what else to go on about. Like I said, any questions, let me know.